Er is niets zo dodelijk voor de productiviteit en de sfeer in een team als de legendarische zin: ja, maar ik dacht dat jij dat zou doen. Vage verantwoordelijkheden zorgen voor frustratie, gemiste deadlines en vingerwijzen als het misgaat. Gelukkig is er een beproefd Six Sigma-medicijn tegen deze organisatorische ruis, het RACI-model.
For our English speakers, what I just said translates to the absolute ultimate project killer. Yeah, but I thought you were going to do that, right? We've all been there. When a team isn't entirely sure who's supposed to be doing what, projects completely derail. It's just organizational noise. And that's exactly why we use the RACI model in Lean Six Sigma to just totally eliminate that ambiguity. We want to map out exactly who is handling what, with zero room for guessing.
Section 1. What is the RACI model?
So RACI is a 4-letter acronym, and each letter represents a totally distinct level of involvement. Let's start with the R, which stands for responsible. Simply put, these are your doers. The R designates the person, or the group of people, who are literally rolling up their sleeves and getting the actual task done. If the job is to write a report, they're the ones hitting the keys. Without your R's, the actual physical or intellectual work just doesn't happen.
Next up, we have the A, which stands for accountable. Now, the absolutely crucial point here, and honestly, I literally cannot emphasize this enough, is that this is the ultimate decision maker. This is the person whose head is on the chopping block if the project totally tanks, but they also get to take the bow when it succeeds. In Lean Six Sigma, there's a golden, unbreakable rule for this. There can be strictly, undeniably, a maximum of 1 accountable person per task. No exceptions. They hold the mandate and they approve the final work of the R.
Moving on to the C, which stands for consulted. Think of the C as a two-way street of communication. These folks are your subject matter experts. Now, they aren't doing the heavy lifting of the R, and they definitely don't have the final veto power of the A, but their input is absolutely vital before a decision gets made. You consult them to gather the right data, the right advice, or feedback just to make sure the R is doing the work correctly the very first time.
And finally, the I stands for informed. So if consulted was a two-way street, informed is strictly a one-way street. These are the stakeholders who just need to be kept in the loop. They do not get a vote on how the work is done, and you don't need to ask them for advice beforehand. You simply notify them of the outcome after the fact. It's a great way to keep people updated without, bogging down your project with way too many cooks in the kitchen.
Section 2. A practical case with BlueprintRM&co's barcode scanners.
All right, let's bring this to life and apply it to a real-world scenario at BlueprintRM&co, which is a fast-paced e-commerce logistics company. Let's say we need to implement new barcode scanners right on the packing lines. The RACI matrix makes the structure perfectly clear. The black belt project leader? Well, they're our A. They own the ultimate success of this whole rollout. The R's are the IT specialist installing the software and the team leader who's actually training the staff. The C's are the packers out on the floor that we absolutely have to consult for usability, and the I, that's the board or CFO who are just receiving high-level status updates. It's clean, it's clear, and it's totally unambiguous.
But what happens if you break the rules? Imagine if we actually made both the black belt and the logistics manager accountable, meaning we have 2 A's. You are creating instant organizational chaos. When a critical decision needs to be made about a scanner glitch, they just look at each other. Decisions completely stall out, and when things go wrong, the finger-pointing begins immediately. Well, I thought you were approving that. By strictly enforcing that one single accountable person rule, you guarantee clarity and keep your project's momentum going.
Section 3. The Golden RACI Rules.
Okay, so once your matrix is actually built, you don't just file it away. You use it as a diagnostic tool. Let's look at a scenario. Say you scan horizontally across a single task row and you notice 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 people marked as R, responsible. What does that horizontal imbalance actually mean for your project's day-to-day reality? Take a second to really think about what that looks like in practice.
Yep, it means you have way too many captains on one ship. If too many people are all responsible for executing the exact same task, you're going to see a massive duplication of effort. People are going to step on each other's toes, clashes will pop up over how the work should be done, and ultimately your efficiency just plummets. Honestly, if everyone is supposedly doing it, usually no one actually does it efficiently. You have got to streamline those R's. Now let's flip the axis. Look vertically down a single person's column. Let's say you're looking at the column for the logistics manager, and practically every single task in the entire project has them listed as the A, accountable. So what are the implications of this vertical matrix imbalance for that specific manager and for the project as a whole?
Well, it guarantees manager overload and creates a massive project bottleneck.
If one person is accountable for literally everything, they have to approve literally everything. They simply won't have the bandwidth to make decisions fast enough, and your project momentum will stall out completely. The beauty of the RACI model is that it forces you to delegate that accountability. When you balance the matrix properly, you forge your team into a well-oiled, highly autonomous machine.
So, by applying the RACI model, you effectively silence that organizational noise and empower your entire team. But I want you to ask yourself, on your current biggest project right now, do you actually know who holds the A, or are you just assuming someone else is doing it? Secure your matrix, streamline your work, and as always, Terlering and Vermaak.